Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Putra Cipangistu, an Umrah student from the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, English Education. And this is an academic speaking assignment about the effect of using tree diagram techniques to improve students' vocabulary mastery. The abstract. This study was aimed to examine the effectiveness of using the tree diagram technique to enhance mastery of vocabulary. There was a significant difference in mean scores of protests and posits, which indicated that the tree diagram technique took a good effect on the students' vocabulary mastery. This study concluded that the implementation of the tree diagram was effective to improve the students' vocabulary mastery. English is one of the languages used as people's communication and the most suitable language to use in education because in Indonesia, English has been taught as a foreign language subject at almost all education levels. Besides, language that is used in classroom communication refers to any kind of language that is used during the interaction between teacher and the students. It means that English is important knowledge for the students. In this era, students in the world can get much knowledge from their circles and the internet. So the teacher must be upgrading the method and the media for making the students interesting in the material, especially in vocabulary mastery. Vocabulary is part of the aspects of enhancing English skills and how to use it in communicating with others. Using the vocabulary well can help the speakers and writers to express and generate the idea. Vocabulary is related to pronunciation. Cataloca and Rosdiana stated that vocabulary, pronunciation, and intonation involves in production skill, which is needed for students in learning English. Pronounce and using the intonation correctly, words give an impact in sharing information with others. Vocabulary is the basic component in learning English words, which are used to communicate both in oral and written. It does not have one meaning of each word, but it has several meanings based on the context. It means that vocabulary took vital role in mastering English. It is a language component that makes it simple for people to put words together into sentences and understand a language. In the teaching and learning process, vocabulary influences the learning process. The more words we learn, the more we can express our ideas clearly. It shows the importance of vocabulary. According to Zuhri, the importance of vocabulary can be explained as a rich vocabulary that assists in gestures and communication. It is integrated with reading comprehension, linguistics, written form, and interpersonal context. Vocabulary is needed in both written and spoken communication. One of the most critical aspects of improving students' English skills is expanding the vocabulary. Students get easier to think, talk, and express themselves by mastering English. But as a matter of fact, it is said that the students get difficulty in expressing or transferring their ideas into good sentences or paragraphs because the students' vocabulary was still poor. Lacking vocabulary gave a significant impact on expressing ideas. In learning vocabulary, the students just try to investigate the meaning of a word but do not try to understand the words grammatically. Not only exploring idea but correct grammatical also important in mastering vocabulary. To improve the students' vocabulary mastery, a teacher should use a good and effective technique. The tree diagram technique can help students more active in learning vocabulary. By Sorlin stated the vocabulary tree or tree diagram was used to brainstorm vocabularies by associating the words. The vocabulary tree or tree diagram is a graphic organizer which can be useful in helping students to build vocabulary mastery. It is the visual way of connecting several words to generate ideas easily. Tree diagram is one of the techniques for learning vocabulary. Tree diagram help the students to cluster the ideas in a well-connected and well-arranged way so that the students are able to communicate in written form using relevant structures. It serves easy way to find the many point in speaking. Vocabularies help the students increase their writing quality so they can control the language and the structure. The diagram technique is a more effective way of showing a connection between one word to another word. We can only provide one keyword in this technique, and the keyword was generated by searching by similar words. The student use this technique to look for vocabulary connected to this keyword more creatively and find out the meaning of each word. The researcher uses English Indonesia dictionary to help the students find related words. The steps are explained as follows. The first was the teacher prepared to the materials and the sheets. Then he or she asked the students to put their dictionary on the desk. After that, the teacher explains about the rules about how to do it and divides the students into several groups. The next step is the students start to draw their own tree diagram, and then the students write the keyword or the key idea. After that, the students try to find the words related to the key idea by using dictionary. So the teacher is able to give clues and suggestions to help the students. At the end of the step, the teacher gives an explanation to the students about the subject and corrects the students' work from the several steps above. It shows that a tree diagram is a simple way of teaching the vocabulary, especially to improve the students' vocabulary mastery. There were several related types of research in the study. First, Baizuri conducted research which was aimed to gather empirical data concerning whether the tree branch diagram has students to increase their vocabulary knowledge. The researcher took two classes as the subject of the study, an experimental group and a regular class, and the subject are the 7th grade students of MT Sumaira Bojonggede consisting of 100 students. The problem of the study was that students had the perception that English is difficult to study due to lacking vocabularies. The result of this research is tree branch diagram technique is effective for improving 7th grade students' vocabulary at MT Sumaira Bojonggede. Second, it is conducted quasi-experimental research design. The study used vocabulary tests for collecting the data. In addition, the researcher is interested to apply vocabulary tree as a strategy to teach vocabulary because the researcher found the problem of the students in SMP Panggudi Luhur, Bandar Lampung. The problem was the students' difficulty to understand the meaning of words and apply appropriate vocabulary in the different contexts. The student also got difficulty to pronounce and to spell the English words well. The result of the study was vocabulary tree strategy gave the good impact for students' vocabulary mastery. It can be seen from the score of experimental group was higher than the score of control group. The average score of experimental group was 79.8, then the average control group was 69.64. Third, it is conducted study which aim to find the effectiveness of vocabulary tree technique in developing vocabulary mastery of 7th grade students of SMP Negeri 2 Una. This study used through experimental research design. The problem of this research is the students they think the English is a hard subject because they still lack of vocabulary mastery. The result of this research is there is a significance of using vocabulary tree technique, because it can be concluded that the use of vocabulary tree technique in developing vocabulary mastery is very useful. There are some differences and similarities between the previous studies with this study. The similarities of the studies are the importance of teaching and learning vocabulary, and also the use of the diagram for teaching vocabulary mastery. Then the differences of the study is there are three interrelated problems of the study. The main problem is the students' vocabulary is still low. Then the students also lack in pronouncing English vocabularies and in writing English vocabularies. So the researcher expect that tree diagram techniques can be interesting way to solve the students' problem of vocabulary mastery. The conclusion: the treatment has made a difference of the scores between the experimental group that use tree diagram technique and control group does not use tree diagram technique. The difference means the scores of experimental group is higher than control group. It is evident from the result of the print. However, tree diagram technique takes a lot of time, so the author suggests for teachers to be more able to divide the time between explaining the material to the students and time to apply tree diagram techniques in the teaching and learning process. For the other researchers, the author suggests to examine the effectiveness of tree diagram technique for the other skills such as listening skills or reading skills and post scores. Alright, that is all for my video. Sorry if it doesn't miss it from my speaking. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.